Fractions of a number. Find 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, 5/8, or any fraction of a number. What are they? Represent equal parts of a whole or a collection. Why? To divide up a workload or plan a meal. Interesting fact: spiders are arachnids, not insects. There are over 40,000 species of spiders. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 examples that we're going to discuss in today's video. And there we have it. Now let's talk about example 1. And before we do that, let's read the steps. Step 1, divide the whole number by the denominator, which is the number on the bottom. Step 2, then multiply by the numerator, which is the number on top. Okay, let's read the example. What is 3/4 of 8? Now you may be wondering why we have a fraction wall. It is there to help you see what is going on a little bit better. Okay, so now you may be wondering why we divided it into 4 sections. We divided it into 4 sections because of the denominator in the fraction 3/4, and which is 4. So we divided 4 sections because of the 4. Now let's go ahead and find 1/4 of 8. Now in order to do that, all we have to do is write it in a different way, and we just got to write it as 8 divided by 4, and that means the same thing. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now you may see that underneath the fraction wall in the first column, we've written the number 2 and highlighted it because that is what 1/4 is. Now you may be wondering, how many more do we need to highlight? Well, we need to look at our fraction again, 3/4. Look at the numerator, which is 3, and that tells us how many columns in our fraction wall we need to highlight. So we need to highlight 3 in total, so we need to do 2 more. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So we highlight 1 more, so we add the 2 2's together, and finally we do the third column and we add the 3 2's together, and we get 2 plus 2 plus 2, which gives us 6, which is our answer. Okay, so that's using the fraction wall. Now let's show you to do it more in a mathematical way. So we write down 3/4 of 8, and we start out the same way we did as 1/4 of 8, but in this case we have 8 divided by 4 times the 3. Okay, so now we do 8 divided by 4, which is step 1, and that gives us 2, and now we multiply it by 3, which is step 2, and we get 2 times 3, which is 6. 2 different ways, so our answer is 6. Now let's take a look at example 2. What is 2/3 of 24? Now let's take a look at our fraction wall. We divide it into 3 equal sections. Once again, because of the denominator in our fraction 2/3, which is 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and find 1/3 of 24 first. And remember, that is the same thing as saying 24 divided by 3, which is 8. As you can see, we've highlighted one of the fraction of 1/3 in the fraction wall, and we put the 8 underneath the 1/3. Now, how many more do we need to do? Well, let's take a look at the fraction again, which is 2/3. We take a look at the numerator, which is 2. And now, so we need to highlight 2 columns, so we need to highlight 1 more. So we put the 8 underneath the 1/3, add the 2 8's to give us 16, and that is our answer. Once again, let's show you how to do it mathematically, because eventually you're not going to want to draw the fraction wall, either because it's too big or there's too many or any other reason. And now let's once again show you how to do it mathematically. So we have 2/3 of 24. Once again, we start off the same way as we did 1/3 of 24, and we have 24 divided by 3, which is step 1, and then times 2, which is step 2. So 24 divided by 3 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So there we have it. Our answer is 16. Let's take a look at example 3. What is 2/5 of 35? We take a look at our fraction wall. We divide it into 5 equal sections because of the denominator in our fraction 2/5, which is 5. So let's go ahead and find 1/5 of 35, and that's the same thing as saying 35 divided by 5, which is 7. As you can see, we've highlighted 1/5 or 1/5 in our fraction wall, and we put the number 7 underneath the 1/5. And then in order to tell us how many we need to highlight, we need to look at our numerator, which is 2 and 2/5. So we need to highlight one more. So we add the two 7s together to get our answer, 7 plus 7, which is 14. Okay, now so let's show you how to do it in a more mathematical way. 2/5 of 35 is the same thing as 35 divided by 5, which is step 1, times 2, which is step 2. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. And we have 14 two different ways. And our answer is 14. Okay, now it is your turn. So go ahead and pause the video so you can take your time to answer these questions. And I will show you the answers in 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you got these answers correct, well done. If not, there's always tomorrow.